Hello and welcome back. My name is Andrew Coleman, and this is the Flow Certified Professional online training course. This is Tile 5, and we're on video 7. And today we're going to be talking about cascading vision and the one thing. And you can see that in the picture here to the left, I guess. Today we have with us Jay Keller, one of our Flow
Hello.
certified trainers. And this isn't moving. There we go. And I'm going to turn it over to Jay, and I'm going to have him introduce himself. Thanks, Jay, for being with us today.
Thank you, Andrew, for having me. Hello, everybody. My name is Jay Keller. I'm the Chief Information Officer of our Daily Bread Ministry here in Michigan, Grand Rapids, USA. And I'm glad to share a little bit of what I think about, Tile 5. And I think it's a very important tile.
Cool.
So what we want to talk today is about cascading vision. And the one important thing which we have to learn about cascading vision, and then how we link that all back up, from the lowest level up to the top level, and from the top level down to the lowest level with least amount of loss of information on the way down and up. So hang on tight, we're going through it. So, the one thing which you need to understand is that the vision is always something where people identify themselves with your company. So you have an external vision, in my opinion, and you have an internal vision. Let's take the vision of Nike. Just do it. It's short, it's very to the point. And, if you unpack that, if you hear it for the first time, you go like, just do it. Just do what? Then you understand that Nike is a sports company. So they are focusing very hard on the athlete. Not everybody can be an Olympian or a world champ, but you know what? If you try to do your best in, for example, running, or your best in swimming, or your best in, you name the sport, they say just do it. Just try it, do your best. And this is actually what you identify yourself with, is that this is the company that enables you to do your best in whatever you do. Well, that is the external vision, but then you get to the internal vision, and the internal vision is, how do I make sure that Jay Keller, who is a very bad runner, can be the best at running, even though he's not good at it. So with that said, you have as I said, two visions, one externally, which is one vision, short, very short, and very to the point. And then you adopt that to an internal vision. So importantly is that every level in your company needs to understand what the vision means for them. For example, you have the top level who is focusing on a long range. The vision should be, what do I want to do not only next year, but let's say 5 years down the road? Where does our company go? Well, that's not, if I know where the company wants to go in 5 years, that doesn't help me at the lower level to understand what do I do to empower that, to support that. So you need to break the vision down, and let's talk about this a little bit, what it means for our Daily Bread Ministries. We have different departments who have different heads. So there is marketing, there is IS, there is production, there is media team. And, if you talk about, this is the vision of the company, as a leader of one of those departments, I need to understand, what is my part? Where do I support the vision, the overall vision of the company? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the vision of the company and I'm going to define the vision for the IS team. Then the next level down is we have different things which we are doing. We are doing web pages, we are doing mobile apps, we are supporting video and movie production. So we have to have those programs need to have a clear understanding what is required from them to support what the IS department wants to achieve, who supports what the company wants to achieve. So you see that the vision needs to be broken down. And let me tell you a good thing about the vision that is broken down. If somebody comes to me and says, all right, you know, this is what I want to do. This is what I want you to do for my department. I ask, okay, does this support the overall vision? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, I'm obviously not going to do it, because that's nothing that you have to do to support the vision. So if you really, really want that, you better make sure it is showing up. It is showing up in the vision, and you have a tie of that project or that program or that whatever to the vision. So with that said, you need to take the vision all the way down. As a person, as a guy who is working, I have to have a team vision, and out of that, I have to have a personal vision. And guess what? If I have a personal vision that is in line with the team vision, that is in line with the project vision, with the program, senior manager vision, company vision, you know, we are all working towards what we want to support. Yes, the further down you get, the more operational a vision will be, but it's still in complete support of a vision of the top executive or the company who is focusing on 2 years, 5 years out. You are working towards that vision. Now, this is just going down. The very important thing is that you have the feedback. That's what we call feedback loops. So we need to feed back up what we are achieving with our vision. How are we doing? Where do we, if we see an issue with something, we need to make sure it gets to the top. You know, it's not good enough if the company screams, follow me, and you're on and you go like, well, that's the complete wrong direction. Nobody wants to go there except our company. That's obviously not good. So it needs to be discussed. It needs to have feedback loops where you give updates on how are you doing on your vision. So, you know, again, if you look at that nice domino thing on the left, you know, it's the further down you are, the smaller of a domino you are. Let me put it that way. But if you look at the power of that small domino, if you just dip that domino, it will hit the next bigger one. It will hit the next bigger one. At the end of the day, it will move a 5-ton domino just like that. That you go like, well, my domino was just 10 grams, you know? So how can it tip over a 5-ton domino at the end? And that's the power of the feedback. You know, you can move everything, even if you are a little cogwheel, you at least think you are a little cogwheel, you are an important part of the whole system. So with that said, I think it's hopefully explained what the power of a vision is, and how you can influence even the company's overall vision. Sometimes, even if you are, you know, like one person at the end of a whole line of line of command, you can move the company if you give the right feedback. Yes. So with that said, I think I would not go any further. I hope that was good enough to explain to you how this works and why it's important to have a vision and an aligned vision on all levels, and a feedback loop from your what you are doing back up to the top. It's a constant exchange. And if you understand that, if I have information, now let's go to information. If I have information and I do not pass the relevant information on to my coworkers, they
Hmm.
cannot perform as expected,
Exactly.
because I cannot act on something I don't know. And if you don't tell me, don't blame me if I'm not doing it, because I just can't. So that's also transparency, and clearly communicated visions and missions. And you can adopt this to anything you do. That is important. And then give feedback. Work your way back up with that information to, so that the company can learn, because we want to be a learning company.
Exactly. Really good. That's a perfect segue into the next slide.
Yeah, and again, this is kind of what I already alluded to. So if you ever played the game telephone? It's
Hmm.
always a fun game to play. As a kid, I always loved it. At the end, you got the sentence from somebody and you had to pass it on, and at the end you go like, that's not what I said. But everybody, every level is constantly changing one way. I heard green. Why is it all of a sudden gray? I didn't take gray. I say green. And if you look at that, that's exactly what happens when you communicate without the feedback loop. You know, I'm Swiss by birth. I had the privilege to go to Swiss military. It's mandatory.
Hmm.
So what I learned there is pretty much what we want to tell you here as well. If you got an order from a superior, you had to repeat the order back to him.
Hmm.
And it's not because, am I stupid or what? It's because he wanted to understand that I heard what he said.
Yeah.
In a battlefield, things can get lost. And this is
Oh, yeah.
exactly what we want to tell you with this chart here. If I interpret what you say, I have the tendency to lose details. So as a study shows that, you have about 50% loss from level to level if you don't build in the feedback loop. So with that said, if you have just like 6 levels, you said something, or 7 levels, you say something at the top, and guess what arrives at the individual is 2% of it.
Yeah.
And it's not just do it. That would be awesome, because I can interpret that, but it's like just, and then you go like, just what? So, what we want to make sure is that we don't lose uh, as much as if you don't have feedback loops. There will be some loss. We cannot avoid that. But, we want to keep the loss at the minimum. So that's kind of what this slide tells you. If you have feedback loops, you can minimize the loss of information on the way down. And then, on the way back up, you can check, are we still in line with what we said?
Yeah, and this is a pretty extreme example because it's 50% lost
Right.
at every level. And but even if you only had 10% loss at every level, by the time you get down to the individual in this kind of organization, you've still lost half. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's pretty amazing how
Still
quickly it
bad.
amplifies as you
Doesn't
go.
matter how you put it, it's still bad.
Exactly. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, excellent. Okay, we're coming into the final slide.
Yeah, so again, as a recap of what you hopefully learned through this couple of minutes where I talk to you, is like, it's important to have cascading visions. So a vision need to build upon the vision of the level above you. So you cannot say, you know what, forget about the vision the management has. I have my own vision, and here it is, and we are working towards that. So that's not how this works. So you have cascading vision. You focus on the one thing that makes the difference for the company. So don't try to do everything at once. Focus on important things and link back. Give an update, feedback. This is what I understood. This is what I did. This is where we are. So for that, it is important that that goes up to the top. And if we need to correct our vision, we can correct our vision, and it's cascading down again. So it's a constant feedback loop, and this is a living thing. It's not that once and for all. Yeah, that might be your external vision, where you have a really good vision, like just do it. You can live that one forever. But then you have to say, okay, what does just do it mean for us as a company? And you have an internal vision, and you need to execute that. So
Exactly.
cascading vision, and the one thing, it's not easy.
No.
It really takes a lot of work on everybody's part. So it's not something which just happened.
Yeah.
Even if you say just do it, you have to work at it. Let me put it that way. And for me to be a halfway decent runner takes exercise. You're not going just because I put the Nike shoes on my foot. It's not like, oh, it runs for me, I just have to follow. You still have to put your share of work into it. And the link back, once again, it is as important as the cascading vision is the feedback loop, which you have to build into everything you do, and specifically when it comes to vision and strategy and things like this, because that is not only impacting you and your team, that is impacting the whole organization. I hope that was
That was
uh,
excellent.
a good explanation on how
That
to
was
do
excellent.
things, and I was really glad to share that with you.
Thanks, Jay. Really appreciate you sharing with us today, and look forward to hearing more from you in the future.
Sure, my
Thanks.
pleasure. Thanks.